On a cloudy day in eastern Nebraska, one side looks to extend a league record run while the other seeks its first win in 2 months. From Werner Park in Papillion, it's Union Omaha and Central Valley Fuego. It's USL League One soccer on ESPN+. I'm Donnie Barnes, and as we look at the current standings, you see the contrasts between these two sides' fortunes this year. Union Omaha have won 9 in a row to set that League One record and are hoping to extend that to 10 tonight. More importantly, they have a chance to possibly go top of the table by the end of the night because Northern Colorado and North Carolina play each other later this evening. The Owls just a point behind both with a game in hand, so at least one of their main rivals will drop points tonight. That winning streak has been so impressive for Omaha. It started way back on July 29th with a last-gasp winner by Alexis Suwahi against Tormenta that sparked this entire run. And they hope it continues against the club that comes in bottom of the league. Central Valley winless since July 22nd. One of the players who's really blossomed during this 9-match winning run for Union Omaha is Joe Brito. He hadn't scored this year prior to August. Since then, he's scored 4 in his last 7 games and has added a big piece to Omaha's attack. Their head coach, Dom Casciato, said that Brito has learned how to play a different role this year, and they've figured out where to use him in a way that brings out his best abilities. And his ability to play that attacking midfield role and to arrive in the box at the right time has been key in creating overloads and making it so difficult for opposing teams to defend the Owls. Central Valley have struggled to score goals this year. Their 27 total is the fewest in the league, but they've been better in recent weeks, and Alexis Cerritos has been their brightest spot in attack. He leads the team with 8 goals. No one else has scored more than 2, so he's a big focal point both for his team and for the opposition. When he's able to create and make things happen, Fuego have a chance to surprise teams. When opposing teams have effectively blanketed him, it's been much more difficult for his club. How he does against this Owls defense will have a big say in whether Central Valley can pick up an upset result on the road. This is Fuego's first trip to Omaha this year. The Owls took the first 2 meetings in Fresno. Fuego are much different since then, however. Will Omaha continue their record streak and their charge for the regular season title, or will Fuego play spoilers at Werner Park? Find out next.
The best celebration you're ever going to see. It could go viral, could make national news. It's going to be a great celebration. If Steven can do it, it's a lot of coordination, a lot of moves. So, I got a celebration for you today, Steven. Can you hold my weight? You think you can hold 135?
Doyle's floater, Dos Santos' header!
Bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you in the sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way. Home is with you wherever that may be.
What's up, guys? If you're celebrating a birthday, entertaining family, treating your employees, or rewarding a youth soccer team, bring them to Werner Park.
We've got deals for groups of 15 or more starting as low as $13 a ticket.
Your group will be seated together to enjoy the match and catch your video board shout out at halftime.
Want to see the action up close?
For an even more unique experience, our field level corner kick suite is 20% off now through October.
See you soon, Omaha.
See you soon, Omaha.
See you soon, Omaha.
So these two clubs meeting twice out west. It's the first time Fuego have journeyed to Omaha this year. Steven Dos Santos had a goal in one of those meetings as well. That was Dos Santos' first goal of the year. He's another guy who's really sparked to life during this winning streak in the second half of the season for the Owls. Here is how they line up. Their starting 11 presented by Rotella's Italian Bakery, and it's an unchanged 11 from their 3-2 win at Chattanooga last weekend. Steven Dos Santos needs 1 more goal for 10 in all competitions this year, so he'd love to hit double figures for the season tonight. Meanwhile, for the visitors, Central Valley Fuego, under interim head coach Edison Gonzalez, they stack up in a 3-4-3 today with 4 changes from their 3-0 defeat to North Carolina FC on Wednesday. This is a short week for them, remember. Jesse Williams comes in for Jordan Chavez. Alexis Cerritos is back in there. Zahir Vasquez and Cutis Lawal get the start as part of that attacking trio. There is Cutis Lawal, who just returned to Fuego over this last week, signed to a 3-year deal, which is a real statement of intent for this club. They intend to continue to build and rebuild from this season. Here we go. Can the Owls make it 10 in a row and extend their record, or will Fuego spark a shock with their first victory in 2 months? It is Fuego in the white, the Owls in their black with the lightning shorts, and an early foul and a free kick for the home side. Our referee tonight is Madzid Koric, assisted by William Atten and Chana Forstall, with the fourth official Gloria Resendiz Martinez. There was a threat of rain and lightning earlier today. That appears to have missed the area for the most part. So we start under overcast but relatively uneventful skies. Free kick now for Fuego inside this opening minute. Victor Falk, who takes a lot of their set pieces, is standing over it. You see the smoke wafting from right to left. The Omaha supporters section has been moved to behind that goal to the right. Falk's free kick drilled in low and stabbed away. Joe Brito looking to play out for Omaha. Falls to Pedro Dolabella, and now Shaft Brewer. Watch for those speed on the flanks for Omaha, with Brewer on one side and Dion Akoff on the other. Here is Akoff's first touch now. Steven Dos Santos, whose hold-up play has gotten so much better during this winning run. Ball stayed in play for Akoff. Has Luis Heel with him. Now Akoff to the end line. His cutback. There's Burrito, and he flashed it just over the bar. Almost an ideal start for Omaha. Not far away from a fifth in 8 goals for Joe, or a fifth goal in 8 games for Joe Brito. As there's the danger that Dion Akoff poses down the wing. Difficult one for Brito, just slightly behind him as you saw that replay. Had to crane his neck back. Really tough to keep a ball down when you're forced to do that. That's the kind of sharp, smart start that Dom Casciato will want from his side. Of course, in every game, especially at home, you always want to start quickly and start well. And he emphasized this week that it's especially important against any team that's been struggling. You never want to give a team like that belief. You never want to let them grow into the game and start to feel that they can cause an upset. Fuego are dangerous despite being bottom of the table, despite being winless in over 2 full months. They have been scoring more goals recently, even though they were shut out twice last week. As there's a foul, J.P. Skiers committed by Billy Forbes. Fuego won here on the last day of the regular season last year. 2-0 was the final. That was a bad result for Omaha because it dropped them down to the 5th seed and forced them to go on the road for their first round matchup at Chattanooga, which they subsequently lost. Fuego finished 7th last year. They were already eliminated from playoff contention by that last day of the season, but finished just a couple points out of the playoff spots as this runs out for a goal kick. But this year, Fuego have never really gotten going, as we see Paul Lewis, who is playing in his 2nd game for Fuego, in goal. You see their away record. Lewis just picked up this week one of a number of moves that Central Valley have made over the last month or so. Paul Lewis was with Charleston Battery in 2020 and 21. Played for Michigan Stars in NISA last year. Cal State Northridge alum. See the home record for Omaha, 10 wins here at Werner Park already. They have made this one of the toughest places to come for a visiting team in the league once again. Labella back for Rashid Nuhu, who keeps his place in goal. Ian McGrain did get the start over Nuhu when both were fit a couple weeks ago, but Casciato said this week, Nuhu has been our number 1 and is our number 1. Both goalkeepers know they have to work to keep their place, but Nuhu's still the clear number 1 right now. Here's Connor Doyle, checking back and keeping possession. Just 5 wins, 5 draws, and 18 defeats for Central Valley. 4 points behind Chattanooga for 11th to avoid finishing bottom of the table as that fizzes all the way through to Lewis. And Lewis playing with his feet, playing dangerously. Dos Santos almost closed him down. Long it goes. Cutis Lawal, who is a menacing presence up top. You see the size that he has. Hasn't played much with Fuego last year. He played for Fresno's franchise in the USL Championship level a couple years ago. Fresno FC. Loved in Fresno, and fans very happy to see him back. He will definitely add something to their attack for the rest of this season and into the next couple. This is given away, and a chance to spring forward now. The overlapping run is from Alexis Cerritos. He looks to chop it back. Interesting idea. Zahir Vasquez not able to get on the end of it. The Owls look to counter, but that's a little sloppy from them. This is a good little spell for Fuego. That first goal, essential for them today, you feel, if they're going to have a chance to spring a surprise this evening. The way they have struggled to score this year, playing from behind would figure to be difficult for them. If they take an early lead, who knows? Tom Casciato knew very well that this is one of those classic trap games. Encouraging his team to remain fully focused. Free kick here given away by Joe Brito, who's not happy about it. Get on with it quickly. Carrera wide to Vasquez. Into the box it goes. Lawal trying to get turned. Cutis Lawal wide as Nuhu makes the save. Almost an instant impact for the return signee. Lawal found himself one-on-one with Omaha's netminder, and Rashid Nuhu made himself big as he has so many times the last 4 years. That's a big moment early in this game. Look at the way Lawal spins Marco Milanese. That's what he adds to this Fuego attack that they have lacked for much of the year. They do have a corner from it, and Victor Falk to take. Falk playing it long, much too long. Heel has plenty of time and space to pick an outlet ball and picks out Joe Brito. Good tracking back by the boys in white and black, though, to prevent Omaha from turning it into more than that. J.P. Skierce, who's always such a huge threat from set pieces at the other end. He'll start out in this deep-lying midfield role along with Connor Doyle, but he'll get forward in the attack plenty. Had a gorgeous assist on Omaha's second goal last week at Chattanooga. Improvised back heel flick from a corner routine. Put the ball directly into the path of Marco Milanese for his first professional goal. Now here come the Owls with Heel, and he scoops it in the direction of Dos Santos. He tumbles over. Appeals for a penalty, waved away by Madzik Koric. Owls back to the attack, though. It's Akoff. Akoff stands it up for Brito. Came off the defender and spins out for the first corner of the night. The Owls creating plenty of danger down that right-hand side. Let's see this penalty shout again. Dos Santos feeling he was dragged back briefly. Francois Delis, who's been whistled for 2 penalties in the last 2 games. Dos Santos trying to burn him for a third, and then a crucial block by Delis on that attempted volley by Brito. So the first Modelo corner kick of the night. The Owls have so many effective corner kick routines, and most of them stem from Connor Doyle's delivery. Drills it in to Skierce. J.P. Skierce at the post. Oh, he scored so many with his head and almost slammed one in with his foot, and instead slammed it against the base of the woodwork. Akoff with a nice turn. Here they come again. The slide through for Dolabella, shielded off by Cutis Lawal, who gets all the way back to defend in his own 18-yard box. Crazy sequence. JP Skierce somehow finds himself on the end of so many of those set pieces, even though opposing teams know that almost all of them are aimed toward him. The wall whistled for the foul there. And I asked Dom Casciato this week, how is it that he's able to do that when teams know that these Connor Doyle takes are going to be aimed for him every time? He said, well, first of all, he's not the only target. We do have other dangerous guys in the box, but he said that JP Skierce has an elite ability to read the flight of the ball quicker than anybody else. Put himself in the right spot for it. Also has great leaping ability and the ability to time his leaps very well. Wasn't a factor on that previous play, but the balls that find his head, his ability to get up and hang up in the air more than most others in this league. A big part of why he's so effective from those situations. Dion Akoff again down that right side. Akoff stands up another. It's Brito again and didn't quite catch it. Easy save for Paul Lewis. The Fuego are going to have to do something about Dion Akoff down that right side because he's rampaging down that flank with impunity in the opening 12 minutes. The Wall able to win this one. Not able to get around Milanese this time. But again, you see early on the added dimension, size, physicality, strength, danger that he adds to that front line for Fuego. He asks questions that they've not been able to pose to opposing defenses for most of this season. That's put out by Lewis and a throw for Omaha. Select is the official match ball supplier of USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. The Owls entering play tonight, third on the table, but just a point behind Northern Colorado and North Carolina FC, and with a game in hand on both of them. And those two sides play each other in about 40 minutes in Windsor, Colorado. So at least one of those two teams will drop points tonight. Well, the Owls hope that both of them do. They would love to see those two sides draw. If the Owls could win this game, that would put Omaha in a really good position entering their final 4 matches of the regular season. This is Brito. And now Brewer. The flag has stayed down, and Brewer stands it up back post. And Dos Santos takes it down, but couldn't keep it in play. This time the Owls worked that left flank. And this, of course, is what they do so well, not just in the early going against Central Valley, but against almost everyone. They create so many overloads down those flanks. It's so difficult to defend. Dos Santos trying to bring that down, but not the touch that he needed. Now Lawal again causing trouble. Milanese shielding off for Nuhu, who had to just boot it out into touch. Central Valley, although they've conceded some chances early on, they're not backing down. You wouldn't expect them to. They're letting Omaha know that they will pose a definite threat tonight. Intended for Billy Forbes. Shaft Brewer skips away. Doyle turns it over. Omar Lemus intercepts. Now Forbes has Lemus on the overlap. It's Lemus by the end line. Was that out before it came off Doyle? No, it's a corner. And the Owls and their fans can't believe it. Ball has to be completely across the line to be out, remember. Let's see what we can see from this angle. No definitive look, of course, from that angle. It is a corner. Let's see if Central Valley can profit from it. Victor Falk. His outswinging ball. Flicked away by Skiers. Put back into the mix. This time it's Kickoff, and then volleyed from the top of the area. Over and out. Omaha still irritated that the corner was given in the first place. JP Skiers doesn't just win headers in the attacking box, he wins them in his own box as well. Still fell dangerously on the edge of the area. Billy Forbes unable to keep his shot down. The Owls unafraid to play out from the back, even on this tiny field at Werner Park. And that's why they're very effective at doing it. Elsewhere in League One, Chattanooga have taken a 4-1 lead at Lexington. The Red Wolves, although they won't make the playoffs, they are snarling tonight. Shaft Brewer now on his bike down the left side. That's an excellent tackle. Billy Forbes couldn't keep it though. Milanese to heel. And Dos Santos. Dos Santos! Not far away. Can't give the ball away to Omaha in the middle of the park. Dos Santos doesn't score many from outside the area, but is capable of hitting them. Plenty of pace and power on that, but a bit too much height. Now it's 5-1 Chattanooga, by the way. They've just scored again. That's a Lexington side who've only lost twice at home all year. They are being destroyed on their own pitch in the opening hour in Kentucky tonight. Tormenta and 1 Knox, they are 0-0 just before halftime. That's a game both those sides pretty much have to win. Here's Qudus Lawal, almost in again, touched out by Suwahi, who says it came off him last. What's the decision? It is a corner. Suwahi continues to plead his case, but to no avail. Another set piece for Fuego, who've started well. Chance for Victor Falk to deliver another outswinging ball. Nobody there in white. Fuego will look to recycle. Lemus. Neat takedown. Cerritos. He'll have a hit from there. Instead, tried to cross it in. Jesse Williams had to get that touch right, and he did. Now the overlap from Lemus, and he combines with Billy Forbes. Got the ball stuck under his feet, and the attack breaks down. That was promising for Fuego otherwise, and Heel rides that challenge so deftly, but then tackled back by Cerritos, and Cerritos looks to slip in. Qudus Lawal, it's Nuhu again, it's loose, it's Forbes, it's chaos, it's scrambled away. Somehow it stays out, and somehow it stays 0-0. How did Fuego not score? That's been the story of their season, unfortunately. And for the Owls, they continue to do everything right at the most crucial moments. 2 one-on-one saves by Rashid Nuhu on Qudus Lawal in the opening 20 minutes. Heel was dispossessed. He thought he was fouled. But there was Lawal, there was Nuhu. He couldn't quite fall on the rebound. Forbes thought he was certain to score, but Milanese threw himself in the way. And Milanese has stayed down afterward. Well, it's a little incredible that this game is still goalless almost 20 minutes in. Both sides have had some good chances and some near misses. And you could argue that Fuego have had the better of the chances. And that guy certainly has. Qudus Lawal. Just as I said, Fuego will have to figure out their left flank, Omaha's right in attack, where Dion Kickoff has been getting down that right side repeatedly. The Owls are going to have to do something about Qudus Lawal, who was not with Fuego in the 2 prior times these 2 teams met. And I asked Dom Casciato this week if it's tougher to scout a team like Fuego, who have had a lot of turnover since the last time they faced him. He said that, yeah, it definitely can be. You would prefer that a team stays consistent and stays with the same personnel and the same system that they've had all year when you're scouting them and getting ready to put a game plan together against them, but that's not the way it works. But they have not had to deal with somebody like Qudus Lawal so far this year. And Rashid Nuhu, who for the first time in his 4 seasons with the club has had his status as the #1 keeper seriously challenged by Ian McGrain. So far tonight, definitively restating his case as the #1. Neat one-touch soccer, but Brito's pass was intercepted. Falk chips it back, and Fuego doing well. They continue to grow themselves into this game. This is exactly what Omaha didn't want. They have given them life, given them hope. Fuego, you can tell by their body language, very much feel they can upset the Owls tonight. The Owls pausing to collect themselves, trying to reassert some control in this game. There's that target play from Dos Santos, and he turns so well. Thought about the shot, plays in Kickoff instead. Kickoff has runners in the box. Across the face, good punch out by Paul Lewis. Needed to get a strong fist to it and did. Brewer tracks it down, he gets tripped up. Free kick Omaha just inside the touchline. Billy Forbes guilty. Offers a helping hand. Looks like we'll just receive a warning. There's that right side with Kickoff again. Another dangerous cross. Good reflexes by Lewis. Dolabella was crashing that back post if Lewis didn't get there with the fist, and then the foul by Forbes at the end of the sequence. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club's on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Connor Doyle standing over it. Billy Forbes, part of a 2-man wall in front of him. You could hear interim head coach Edison Gonzalez barking at Forbes to get tighter to his teammate. Can Doyle pick someone out? Curls it back post. There is Paul Lewis with a confident take. Boy, these 2 recent additions at the very back and the very front for Fuego, in goal and at the top of their attack with Lewis and Lawal, sure makes them look much better. Not playing like a side that's bottom of the table and that has gone 11 games winless since July 22nd. What can they create here? Alexis Cerritos charging forward. Keeps possession nicely. Brings his teammate into the play. Cromwell's cross and a foul as Lawal guilty of an apparent push on Milanese. That is quite a size mismatch, though. Lawal against Milanese. It's going to continue to be a problem for Omaha. Lawal did look like he put his hands in Milanese's back. It is a foul, but it's an issue the Owls are going to have to figure out because Fuego should continue to pump balls in toward Lawal. Heel. And just a little too much on it on the return ball for Kickoff. 25 minutes gone, 0-0, but a really entertaining start to this game. A night where the Owls are hoping to extend that league record winning streak and continue to put pressure on those top two sides in the table as Skierce fouls his man. Omar Lemus against Brito. Gave it straight to Brewer. That's a clever ball and shielded by Dos Santos. Look at his strength to win the foul. When Steven Dos Santos bullies up to the ball like that and sticks his rear end out and plants his feet, he's so tough to move. Alexis Suwahi has played every minute for Omaha this year at that center back position. And a big mistake for Chattanooga's second goal in stoppage time last week. Has otherwise been very good. Doyle, that's a neat little switch with his feet. Billy Forbes commits another foul and he's going to go into the book. And you see the referee pointing for 3 different infractions, and there's the card in the 27th minute. First booking of the night. It is a Hale Varsity Club yellow card. It came from that clever little switch of feet by Connor Doyle. Billy Forbes, a Turks and Caicos international. He's just playing for his national team in Nations League play a couple of weeks ago. Suwahi. Dos Santos tried the flick. You can always tell a player is confident and feeling good when they try those little flicks. Meanwhile, in South Georgia, Tormenta took the lead just before halftime, almost on the stroke of halftime. They lead Knoxville 1-0. The defending League One champions trying to stage another frantic late season rally. They have a very uphill battle to make the playoffs. They need to win most, if not all, of their games. But they've put together similar runs before. Here's Kickoff now. And Heel. See Fuego committing more white shirts to that side to try to shut off that service. But another ball into the box, attacked by Dolabella, who just missed. Dolabella's scored a few in recent weeks, and he can't believe he didn't add to his total there. Timed his run very well. Stood up expertly again by Kickoff. Dolabella not able to make the contact he wanted. We are told that there is lightning in the area, not close enough to delay the game for now. They are monitoring it. So we obviously hope that stays away. This game has had such great flow and pace to it. It would be a shame to see it interrupted. We play on for now. Kickoff finds Dolabella, and Dolabella back heels for Heel, and Heel faked the strike, slid in Dolabella, who tried to slide in Dos Santos. It would have been gorgeous. It was into the hands of Paul Lewis instead. Really clever touches in this build-up. Heel. Dos Santos might have been offside. Well constructed, but it stays goalless. Skierce able to intercept that, but not the best ball this time from Heel. Lemus has space to overlap and charge down the right side. And he feeds Billy Forbes. Forbes chops it back onto his left and lifts it far post. Overshot a bit, but it's kept alive. The attempted cross blocked by Heel, taken by Heel. Well done by the veteran again, who feeds Dolabella. And Dolabella has men ahead of him and tries to play in Dos Santos, but out comes Lewis to boot it clear. Half an hour gone, and it's been a breathless half hour. This postage stamp size pitch. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. Free to play. Download now. Dos Santos guilty of just enough contact on Abdul Razak Cromwell. He's saying, look, your assistant referee didn't raise his flag. Why would you blow your whistle? Of course, the center referee has the authority to do that. Victor Falk. Fuego continue to hang right with the Owls tonight. That's neat play. And Lemus again. Cerritos. Cromwell. Union Omaha have won most of these 9 consecutive games while being outpossessed. One of the many impressive things about their run, they've shown the ability to win games in different ways under different circumstances. They are a team that sets out to dominate possession and dominate the game, but they don't necessarily have to. They've been capable of being very lethal on the counterattack. Very clinical even when they don't create many chances. Dom Casciato speaking with the 4th official, Gloria Resendez Martinez. Dos Santos. Heel. Trying to feed Brito, and then commits the foul. And interim head coach Edison Gonzalez, you could see in the foreground, barking at the 4th official that there should be a card to Heel there. I think Heel got Francois Dulis right in the back of the calf with his studs. Looked that way at full speed. They've both stayed down afterward. He goes over the top of the ball. He does clip the ball, but certainly clips Dulis in the process. Anytime you get those studs over the top of the ball, you're risking at least a caution. Heel, who scored his first of the year a couple weeks ago in the win against Richmond. It had so many opportunities this year, and it comes so close to scoring so many times. He's also dished out 7 assists to lead this Omaha club. It was Jesse Williams that he actually caught. Good to see both players back to their feet. Earlier today, Charlotte Independence defeated Forward Madison by 2-0. That was a big win for Charlotte to, at least for now, solidify 4th place and a potential first-round playoff spot. It is a yellow card now shown to Luis Heel. So it appeared that he had escaped sanctioning for that tackle, but it was only delayed. The live standings, meanwhile, being shown. Currently, Omaha in this 0-0 game. This is awarding them a point, so that would take them to 53. They don't own the tiebreakers right now against either Northern Colorado or North Carolina. Remember, the primary tiebreaker in League One is number of wins. North Carolina FC have one more than both Omaha and Northern Colorado right now. The secondary tiebreaker is goal differential, and Omaha's is worse off than those other 2 clubs. So we've had a long delay here with the injuries and then the booking and the further lecture from Madzid Koric. Chattanooga continuing to lead Lexington 5-1. Luis Heel has been allowed back onto the pitch, I believe. Now Dolabella called for a foul, and the Owls can't believe that. See that again. Maybe maybe got the arm up, but there's not a lot in that. I think Central Valley very fortunate because that was about to be a bad giveaway by them, and Dolabella, as you could see, was racing the other way. Central Valley able to frustrate Omaha so far, and Lima steers it to Forbes. Forbes facing two black shirts, almost was able to split them, still has it on the edge of the box. And it falls to Lemus, and his square ball loops harmlessly to Nuhu. Lemus maybe had an opportunity to shoot there, and I'm not sure he was ready to do so. It is one of the strange things about playing on this field. The dimensions are so much narrower than at almost any other pitch. Sometimes you find yourself in a shooting position and you're not used to finding yourself there because you wouldn't normally be. Akoff keeps this in play. He's free down that right side again. Akoff stands it up, aiming for Dos Santos. Well defended by Cromwell. And then Cromwell hammers it clear. Good header by Suwahi, but it rolls all the way to Forbes. Now the counterattack for Central Valley. This is aimed towards Zahir Vasquez, and Suwahi able to cut out the danger and may have injured himself in the process. Play goes on. Cerritos. Cromwell. Carrera. Carrera pings it in, aiming toward Lawal, whom the Owls have been able to keep much quieter over the last 10 minutes or so. And now Brewer is away down the left. Brewer running into Jose Carrera, and Carrera goes into the book. Second Hale Varsity Club yellow card shown to Fuego in this first half. Carrera along with Billy Forbes now on a caution. Brewer's so tough to stop once he gets going. Sets up an interesting free kick, which again on this shorter pitch becomes more dangerous. Doyle over it again. Stands it up far side. Skierce wins that first ball. It bounces for Suwahi, who tried the scissor kick. Would have been spectacular. It's a goal kick instead. Suwahi has scored once this year. That was that stoppage time winner against Tormenta back on July 29th that started this 9-match winning streak. That was a beautiful half volley on that occasion. This one, even more difficult. Another example, though, of Doyle and Skierce combining to win that initial ball. As we tick toward halftime, it remains 0-0, and that will suit Central Valley just fine. It's been a very bright half from them. Akoff challenges for that. Fuego able to keep possession. Spread for Lemus. Williams. Delis and Williams playing catch at the back. Good ball to Falk. Falk able to turn and win a free kick from Skierce. Frustration level growing among the home fans and the home team. They'll have to be sure to keep their composure in the final stages of this first half. Victor Falk, I think, being told to move that ball back just a moment or just a step. It really shouldn't be surprising that Fuego are right in this game, despite their position in the league table. Almost all their games this year have been close, even though they've not been able to win most of them. Falk's delivery, and that pressure immediately relieved for a Fuego foul. But prior to those two games this last week, where they lost 2-0 to Northern Colorado and 3-0 to North Carolina FC, Prior to those, they had gone 17 consecutive games since early June, Central Valley. 17 straight games that had all been decided by a single goal or had ended in a draw. So even though only a few of those were victories, they'd never lost by more than a goal during that stretch. Here's Brewer now. Brewer might be in down the left. Shaft Brewer, the cut back, and it fell to Heel, who can't believe he missed. Glorious chance for the Owls, and it just won't go for them in the first half so far. And then Connor Doyle almost gave it to Victor Falk. Well, Luis Heel has missed some big chances this year. Again, normally a provider, and he's done so much for his team in that role. This is one he knows he should have done better on. Just scuffed it. Almost whiffed entirely. Might have been just a shade behind him. Tough to tell from that angle. May have taken a bobble, you don't know, but regardless, I think he'll feel that should have been in the back of the net. Here's Dos Santos now, trying to touch it over Delis, shielding it off, giving to Heel. Heel's cross, aimed for Dolabella, steered away though, and taken for a run by Cerritos. No foul, clean challenge by Doyle, who won it back fairly, says the referee. And Brewer almost was dispossessed by Forbes. More frantic action in the closing stages of this first half. It's about as entertaining as a 0-0 game can be, really. Good attacking intent from both sides. Ebbed and flowed back and forth, up and down. Omaha's threats have been down the wings, as you'd expect. Fuego have been dangerous straight down the middle with Cutis Lawal and others. Cromwell, Vasquez, Cerritos. Played some neat triangles in this first half, Central Valley. Had issues the last couple of years, sometimes turning good spells of possession into actual forward progress and chances in the final third. They've been able to create a fair amount of danger in this first half, and Cutis Lawal in particular with those two one-on-one opportunities with Rashid Nuhu. That will be the only regret for Fuego so far, as they'll have a free kick here. The fact that they weren't able to take one of those chances and take an early lead. There is interim head coach Edison Gonzalez, who was elevated from first assistant coach and fitness director several weeks ago. He's from San Jose, California. He's coached at California Odyssey Soccer Club. He was the associate men's soccer head coach at Clovis Community College in the Fresno area. Also was an assistant at University of the Pacific in Fresno. Lewis saw it turned over by Cromwell. Akoff, Heel. Heel spinning toward Brito. Dolabella shouts for handball, and the handball is given against Omaha. Dolabella trying to volley it to himself. Victor Falk, I think, is asking for a yellow card, which might be a little ambitious under the circumstances. So in the final minute of the 45, there's been the one injury stoppage. Maybe a couple minutes added on, we'll see momentarily. Dion Akoff, been such a threat in this first half. The Owls will be irritated that they've not been able to capitalize on any of his dangerous runs down the right. Heel now. His cross spins all the way through, stays in play for Brito. Brito looks to cut around the corner. Brewer thinks about the cross, now stands it up for Dos Santos, who heads it along wide. Dangerous crosses keep flying in, and the Owls continue to be errant with their finishes. 4 additional minutes added on. Second half stoppage, or first half stoppage that is, presented by Muchachos. It's a difficult header from both that range and that kind of angle. So perhaps a little bit more Muchachos stoppage time than we would have anticipated. Fuego have been less dangerous perhaps over the last 20 minutes or so, but still have time to create something here. Falk against Brito. Stuck to him well, but it's Forbes who takes over. And Cerritos able to roll Skiers. Cerritos thought about having a hit. Now Cerritos cutting onto his left. Pulling it back. Worked along by Carrera. See, that's one of those sequences that Fuego have had a lot this year. They get themselves in a really promising position. Just can't fashion a shot from that spot. Then they give it away. And Brito shows excellent feet. Trying to maneuver around Jesse Williams. Engaged in a little handbags there. Long for Lawal. Lawal trying to race onto the end of it. Cutest Lawal again is denied by Rashid Nuhu, who's way out of his area. It's Forbes. And now taken back by Milanese, and again the Owls survive. Awkward ball. And again Nuhu was the Owls' savior. Again Cutest Lawal causing all kinds of trouble. But it's another big chance missed for the visitors. And those are starting to add up now. When you're playing as heavy underdogs in a game against a side that's won 9 in a row, those are the kinds of chances that sooner or later you have to take. Still time for the Owls to do something before the break. They go back in their defensive shape pretty soundly. So Omaha patiently working around the back with Suahi. Dolabella, Doyle, and Akoff. Doyle, Dolabella, Akoff. Stood up over Dos Santos, falling to Brewer. Dos Santos again, getting himself turned. And his strike was blocked. Lawal looking to rampage again. But all the way back is Brewer with that lightning speed of his. As we approach the final minute of the 4 added on. A first half that has flown by and has had everything except a goal. Still time for one perhaps. Akoff again. Falls to him once more. Akoff with his left. Takes a deflection, corner. A late Modelo corner in the final minute of stoppage time. We saw Charlotte earlier today score in first half stoppage time, which completely changed their match against Forward Madison. It sent them on their way to an eventual 2-0 win. The Owls always dangerous from these corners, and Connor Doyle readying to ping in another one. He is such a master at that low, flat line drive delivery. It's a very unique delivery. Very few players are capable of striking. Here it is. Aimed for Skiers. Came off Dos Santos and came off somebody else. It's another corner. I think Falk might have gotten the final touch. It was Dos Santos. It did come off Falk. Boy, Dos Santos, that's a great chance. He headed it sideways instead of goalwards. Possibly the final action of this first half. Another Modelo corner kick. Doyle from the near side. And it skims all the way along. And that's halftime. Hard to believe we end the first half without a goal either way. 3 one-on-one opportunities for Cutest Lawal against Rashid Nuhu at one end. And Lawal was introduced to Omaha's wall at the back each time. Omaha, meanwhile, tons of chances coming from the flanks. All kinds of crosses in. And none of them found the back of the net. So with 45 gone and 45 to go in Papillion this evening, it's Union Omaha 0 and Central Valley Fuego FC 0. Back at halftime with highlights from around the league, highlights from our game, and stats and more next.
My name is Yoskar Galvin. I'm a midfielder for Union Omaha. I mean, it was exciting because at first I really didn't think I was gonna get schooling, but my mom was pressuring me, and obviously I pressured myself to get my studies done because it's really important to me and my family. So right now I'm trying to get my generals out of the way and try to figure out what I want to do. I want to get my minor, obviously, and then try to see if I want to do my master's, but that's just been my goal since I was a little kid, and my parents' goal, my parents' dream, and that's the dream that I want to fulfill for them. And obviously playing professional and having school is just an amazing thing. I mean, getting school for free is an amazing feat, and obviously getting it from your team and just Bellevue being so supportive. I mean, every counselor, every helper for the school has been helpful a lot, and I've been learning. My name is Yoskar, and I'm a Bellevue University student.
Halftime in Omaha, presented by Courtyard by Marriott La Vista Conference Center. As we welcome you back to the Omaha Metro and Werner Park. Midweek action in USL League One with highlights from those games and playoff scenarios. Here's Mark Schoenster.
The first and second place teams in terms of clean sheets met for the first time in 4 months on Wednesday. It all started here with Northern Colorado's Trevor Ammon. He may be having the best season of strikers ever. But nope, not happening. Bert Shipman is too agile right now in the first half. It is just all the keepers stealing the spotlight. And then in the second half, the keepers would get bailed out by their team here. Trevor Ammon, maybe third time's a charm, but Jake Kroll comes sliding in. Clean sheets are, in fact, a team stat. Not all on the keepers. Of course, these are two great keepers in this game. Then Madison would have one more chance. Christian Chaney, another prolific goal scorer. Can he find the back of the net? Well, nothing Lalo Delgado hasn't seen before. He swats that one away, keeping it 0-0 on the game. Both keepers with two individual clinics on why they have more shutouts than anybody else in the league. 0-0 is the final. Then later that night in Fresno, it'd be Olex Anderson, the guy behind Trevor Ammon in the Golden Boot race, would get one back since Ammon was not able to find the score sheet on that same night. Great ball from Nathan and Talu, excuse me. It's 15 goals on the season for Olex Anderson. By the way, with the hailstorm draw earlier in the day, North Carolina can take the #1 spot going into the weekend if they get all 3 points here. And look at this from Garrett McLaughlin. Just excellent placement. He now has 7 goals and 6 assists on the season. What an asset he is offensively in his second year with North Carolina FC. What a player. Then just 6 minutes later in this one, it'd be Francois Dulis who was called for a penalty. That's 2 games in a row now that the center back has been guilty of a foul that has resulted in a point to the spot. And Rafa Menzigan knows what to do with it. 3 goals for North Carolina FC, 3 points for North Carolina FC, first place going into the weekend. But the fact of the matter is that Union Omaha has a game in hand. So let's talk about the playoffs. These are the 3 teams who have already punched their tickets. Worth noting, Union Omaha now have the highest max points out of these 3 teams with the hailstorm draw on Wednesday. That means if the Owls, they win out, which sounds like crazy, but they've won 9 games in a row coming into today, they would have the #1 spot. They would be hosting in that regard. Now here are the teams racing to get a playoff spot. The Jacks, the Mingos, and Greenville Triumph all sitting in place to solidify a spot. They can get a couple more victories. You look at those magic numbers, it is in their hands to solidify a spot in the playoffs. But they do have some teams approaching them, still trying to race in, sneak in last second. One Knoxville, Tormenta, very much in it. Lexington are on the brink of elimination at this point in time. They need every single ball to bounce their way, along with them winning out for the rest of the season. With that in mind, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have news and notes with you on ESPN+.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
What's up, guys? If you're celebrating a birthday, entertaining family, treating your employees, or rewarding a youth soccer team, bring them to Werner Park.
We've got deals for groups of 15 or more starting as low as $13 a ticket.
Your group will be seated together to enjoy the match and catch your video board shout out at halftime.
Want to see the action up close?
For an even more unique experience, our field level corner kick suite is 20% off now through October.
See you soon, Omaha.
See you soon, Omaha.
See you soon, Omaha.
News and notes from around USL League One Hispanic Heritage Month. The USL celebrating that milestone with a series of activations running through October 15th. Unidos por el Fútbol. And a coaching update from Lexington, where Nacho Novo has been named interim head coach for the rest of the year, freeing Sam Stockley to dedicate time as sporting director. The club telling us that was always planned coming into the season. And Lalo Delgado earning Player of the Week this year, or this week, becoming the sixth keeper to earn that honor. A 6-save shutout, including a penalty save against Central Valley Fuego last weekend. A tremendous performance from a guy who's having a tremendous season for Northern Colorado. You see that team of the week, Dos Santos in there for Omaha, along with Milanese, who scored his first professional goal in that win over Chattanooga last Saturday. So a good-looking group of 11 there. Scores from around the rest of the league. We told you Charlotte knocked off Forward Madison 2-0 earlier today. What a crazy game in Lexington. Chattanooga led 5-1 at one point. A couple of late consolations for Lexington turns that into a 5-3 final scoreline. The Red Wolves currently 7 clear of Central Valley to stay out of last place overall. And Tormenta with a 1-0 lead over 1 Knoxville as they approach the 70th minute. That's a game both those teams really need to win. Coming up in just a little while, in fact, about to kick off, Northern Colorado and North Carolina FC, top-of-the-table clash in Windsor. Tomorrow, Richmond and Greenville. That game originally scheduled for today, but pushed to tomorrow because of pending weather in the Richmond area. Next Friday, Greenville and Northern Colorado. North Carolina FC faces Union Omaha in another massive matchup Friday on ESPN+. The remaining schedule for the Owls, again at NCFC for another blockbuster next Friday. Then home to Charlotte Independence, and then their last two on the road, at Tormenta, at Forward Madison. 2 tricky trips to end the year for Fuego. They're playing out the string at this point, but still playing for a lot of pride, and we saw that in the first half tonight. They're at Chattanooga next weekend, home to Greenville, and then they finish up at Richmond on October 14th. Back with highlights and stats from the first half, and we kick the second half in just a moment. Omaha trying to break through, Fuego trying to spring an upset. More next.
What's up, guys? If you're celebrating a birthday, entertaining family, treating your employees, or rewarding a youth soccer team, bring them to Werner Park.
We've got deals for groups of 15 or more starting as low as $13 a ticket.
Your group will be seated together to enjoy the match and catch your video board shout out at halftime.
Want to see the action up close?
For an even more unique experience, our field level corner kick suite is 20% off now through October.
See you soon, Omaha.
See you soon, Omaha.
See you soon, Omaha.
Our Courtyard by Marriott La Vista Conference Center halftime show winding down in Papillion. 0-0 between Union Omaha and Central Valley. This one finally poised, intriguingly poised, heading into the second half. Let's see what transpired in the first 45 minutes. Lots of chances either way. It was a first half that flew by. J.P. Skiers tagging the left upright early on from a corner. He was able to take it down and play it with the right foot, inches away from opening the scoring. Cutis Lawal had 3 one-on-one opportunities at the other end. Rashid Nuhu making a couple huge saves. Billy Forbes denied by a great block by Marco Milanese on the back end of that play. Fuego still in disbelief that they didn't score there. The tackle from Alexis Cerritos here, and Lawal Again, couldn't get it by New, who sure looked like Forbes was going to score, and somehow Milanese in the way enough to keep it out. The Owls kept on coming at the other end. Luis Heel slid in Dolabella, who tried to play it for Dos Santos, but Paul Lewis had a sharp play. But that, as always, was a significant and telling obstacle. See the stats in the first half. 13 shots by Omaha, but only one of them on target. So if it seemed like they were pretty scattershot in the first half, well, they definitely were. That will obviously need to improve for them. Look at that, 6 shots, 4 on target for Fuego. You would expect them to have scored at least once, but not the case, thanks to 4 big Rashid Nuhu saves. The Owls did outpossess Fuego, but weren't able to make enough end product from it. So we'll see which side can break through in this second half. 2 yellow cards for Fuego as we see their interim head coach Edison Gonzalez. Billy Forbes and Jose Carrera are on cautions. Luis Heel was booked in the first half for Omaha. So we'll see if either head coach decides to make any changes early in this second half. Bit similar to Omaha's game against Richmond here 2 weeks ago, where they were facing a Richmond side in that case who had gone 10 games without a win. That game was also 0-0 at the break. Dom Casciato, in that case, didn't like the intensity with which his team played in the first half. They were able to up it and be much better in the second half. Eventually won that game 2-1. I don't know that intensity was an issue for Omaha in the first half tonight, but a little bit errant, both in their finishing and in their defending at times. And Rashid Nuhu, a difference maker at the back for them. I told you Chattanooga defeated Lexington 5-3 in an out-of-town game. Tormenta still leading Knoxville 1-0 in the 76th minute. That's a game where a draw does neither side any good as they try to stay around the periphery of the playoff race. Tormenta, who have been prone to conceding goals. Knoxville, who haven't conceded many but haven't scored many either. So that's an interesting final 15 minutes plus there. They are underway in Windsor. Northern Colorado and NCFC goalless just a few minutes in their big showdown match tonight. A match that Omaha would love to see end in a draw. But the Owls know they have to take care of business themselves, and they've not been able to do it as well as they would have liked for the first 45 minutes. So they will huddle and talk things over before half number 2. Really strong performance from Fuego in the first 45. And the only thing missing from it was a goal. Qudus Lawal, who just rejoined the team, it will be interesting to see how far he can go in this game. Could he play all 90? How match fit is he? Union Omaha would love to see him off the pitch as early as possible in the second half, of course. It is the Owls who will get us back underway in the Black and Lightning. They will move from left to right in this second half. Central Valley in the white tops and the white shorts. Referee Madzid Koric making sure all is in order. Here we go in the second half. The Owls seeking to extend that winning streak to 10. Fuego, though, in position perhaps to spring a shock result. It's Doyle forward for Heel. Dolabella looked like he'd steered it errantly. It still works out to a throw for the Owls. Dion Akoff, who caused lots of problems down that right side in the first half. We'll see how far he's able to go. Here's Dos Santos now. It's Heel. It's Heel straight at Paul Lewis. Decent hit, but a comfortable enough save. It is at least a shot on target, which we showed you in those halftime stats, which were presented by the Simple Man, by the way. The Owls had just one of those in the first half, despite 13 shots overall. So now make it 14-2. This is flicked forward at the other end. Billy Forbes able to get on the end of it and around the corner. But the foul was unlucky not to score against Northern Colorado last weekend. Crashed a shot off the underside of the bar late in that second half. Had some other chances as well. This goes out of play for a Shaft Brewer throw. It's not just a 9-match winning streak for Omaha. They've won 13 out of 15. since winning only 2 of their first 12 this season. 13 wins in 15 games. That's taken them from 10th in the table and a -2 goal differential to 3rd currently, but just a point off first with a game in hand on those other 2 sides. Here's Heel. And Dolabella has Dos Santos to aim for and finds Dos Santos. Back to goal. Kickoff now. Hanging it up. Dolabella touched over the bar. Had to be by Paul Lewis. An awkward one for the goalkeeper, who couldn't take a risk. Dunked it over his own woodwork, and it will result in the first Modelo corner of the second half. Dos Santos was crashing in behind Dolabella. Dolabella couldn't know that, of course, and so Connor Doyle ready to drive in another one of those flatline drives of his. In from Doyle. Aimed for Dos Santos, but headed away. Good defending by Fuego. Brewer at the base of the spear. Now Heel. Far too much on that for Skiers. The longer this game goes 0-0, the cliche is always that it favors the side that's trying to cause a shock result, as Fuego are. And it's certainly true in a game like this. Not only that, Union Omaha have struggled to keep clean sheets this year. So a 0-0 game really doesn't suit them for multiple reasons. As we have a man down for Fuego. And that appears to be Cutis Lawal. Such a constant threat in that first half, but his race might be run just 4 minutes into the second. Looks like they're checking for a head injury. Couldn't see what might have happened, maybe off the ball. Maybe it happened while defending that last corner. Not sure. So things to ponder for Edison Gonzalez. And it's been an eventful last couple months for Central Valley Fuego, with Martin Vasquez parting ways with the club in early July. Sporting director Adam Smith initially taking charge as interim head coach, then stepping down to refocus on his efforts as sporting director and establishing a full-time academy structure at the club, which they're very excited to do. They have teased that there will be potential stadium news coming somewhere around the end of the season. You see Lawal being helped up and not looking in a good way. So we certainly wish the best to Cutis Lawal and hope that isn't too severe. You see the trainer indicating that it's a head issue. Mohamed Dabo is ready to check in Lawal's place. Dabo normally a midfielder. So we'll see if this forces Central Valley to reshuffle things a bit. It's really a shame for them because Lawal, you could see how much he changed their entire dynamic as an attacking side in that first half. Hope that he's able to play in their last few games and continue to showcase that new look for them. But here's Dabo for the rest of this one. Dabo, a native of Senegal, previously played for Reno in USL Championship a few years ago. Paul Lewis is looking like a really good acquisition in his second game with the club. Dos Santos, neat touch for Dolabella. Lifted into the path of Kickoff, who's motoring again. Kickoff is basically a human trebuchet in the first half. Dos Santos back post. Dos Santos onto the roof of the net. Still won't go for the big number 10 tonight. This time it was Doyle's turn to clip it into the box. Another awkward angle for an attacker. Didn't do too badly under the circumstances, but again, it stays out. It's taken neatly by Jose Carrera. And Omar Lemus. Bit of a heavy touch. Kept it in play. Wasn't able to get by Brewer. It's a throw. A throw which Victor Falk will take. Drawing it off to perhaps attempt the long one. Instead, we'll toss it back to another teammate. Looks like Jesse Williams has come forward for it. Takes it short. Lemus touches it back to Williams. Now Williams cross, pretty good one, and the flag raised for offside. In the 85th minute now, Tormenta and 1 Knox, still 1-0 to the Ibises. Trying to hang on for a rare clean sheet. Another badly needed win. Pressing from Forbes, but the Owls play it around him without too much difficulty. This game is such an opportunity for Omaha to be guaranteed of picking up points on either North Carolina or Northern Colorado, or both if they were to draw tonight. They're 0-0 early on in their matchup. The Owls, of course, have to win for that to be the case. Otherwise, they're guaranteed perhaps to drop points to one of the two. Brewer heaves it in. Flicked along by Dos Santos, who committed a foul. Dos Santos has been growing visibly more frustrated with the calls against him as this game has gone on, and you could see the official Madzid Koric motioning for Dos Santos to calm himself. And this again is where the Owls have to keep their composure as this game drags on at 0-0. A match that they fully expect to win. Still very well might, but Central Valley making it an almighty struggle. Dos Santos is fouled this time. Jesse Williams, the guilty party. Connor Doyle's had a bunch of these to stand over already tonight. Low and flat, flicked along, and Skierce now by the touchline. Heel in, skims to the far side, and Lemus will get there. Calmly for Falk. And smoothly for Cerritos. Central Valley through the gears here, back to front. Cerritos has an overlapping run. It's Billy Forbes, and Billy Forbes denied by Nuhu. Second ball is in, and Central Valley have that first goal. A goal that puts Fuego in line for a shocking upset result, and a goal that just might end Union Omaha's record-setting streak. 1-0 to the Fuego in the 56th minute. Another well-constructed attack, and finally it pays off for Fuego. This time it squirmed under Nuhu's arm. Nuhu made another one-on-one save, but couldn't do anything about the second ball this time. Zahir Vasquez. He was in the right spot at the right time, and he didn't miss this time. It's his third goal of the season. He becomes the first man for Central Valley, other than Alexis Cerritos, to score more than twice this year. Scoring goals has been such a struggle for Central Valley, but less so in recent weeks. And they have one tonight. It's a precious one. It's a massive one. Kickoff now looking to respond for Omaha. Excellent block. Abdul Razak Cromwell, corner. It's a rather stunned and muted Werner Park at the moment. Can the Owls restore parity right away? Doyle over this Modelo corner kick. Lifts it far side, flicked away. Skiers can keep it in play if he wants, and he does. Scooped back up into the air. Dos Santos well wide. And I think referee Madzid Koric already warning Paul Lewis about time wasting. Central Valley will be eager to take as much time as they possibly can from any dead ball situation now. Still a world of time remaining from their standpoint now that they have a lead. That clock will feel very slow. From Omaha's perspective, it will go quickly. Play stopped for another possible head injury, this one to Alexis Cerritos. Cerritos jumping with Skiers. I think Skiers got him on the top of the head with the follow through. More concern for Edison Gonzalez. That is Cutest Lawal, who is next to that cart. Still really in a bad way, apparently. That's a shame. Cerritos, meanwhile, is back up. Well, it's a goal and a score line that will send some ripples through League One at the moment. Northern Colorado and North Carolina otherwise occupied with their game, but if they hear about it on the touchline, there will be some raised eyebrows there. Scoreline would hugely benefit both of them. Who comes away with the result in Windsor tonight? Still over a half hour remaining in this. And Omaha certainly capable of scoring at least 2 goals. Again, the Owls struggling to keep clean sheets, and sooner or later that tends to catch up with you. Can't rely necessarily on outscoring your opponents every single week. That's a good roll by Dolabella to keep possession. The Owls need some guile and creativity and cutting edge now. They've not been able to find it yet tonight. In from Brewer, off the defender. Modelo corner coming up, an hour in at Werner Park. Doyle's delivery, hangs it up high to the top of the box, shouts for handball, still deflecting around. It's Heel. Heel clips it up. Good defensive header. Jesse Williams has been a rock. And now he goes down. Still shouts for handball from Omaha, who thought that penalty should have been given initially. Another injury stoppage. The Owls about to make a double change. It is a loaded bench for Omaha tonight. Noe Meza, who's been their leading scorer this year, and Lagos Kunga, who just joined the team a few weeks ago. Adds a lot of creativity and pace and a tricky left foot in the attacking midfield. So they have plenty of weapons yet to deploy, and they'll deploy 2 of them in just a moment. As Jesse Williams continues to receive treatment in his own penalty box. Crowd frustrated at the amount of time all these injury stoppages are taking. Here comes the double change for Omaha. Kunga is on for Joe Brito, and Noe Meza will replace Luis Heel. So either side of that attacking midfield trident replaced. Brito on the left, Heel on the right, replaced by Meza on the right, Kunga on the left, you would assume. That's normally how it goes for the Owls. Jesse Williams, meanwhile, asking to be let right back onto the pitch. There's Noe Meza, missed over a month with a hamstring injury. The Owls trying to take that throw, and apparently the referee was not ready for them to do so. There goes Kunga to make sure his shoe was on correctly, and now here's Kickoff. So we're back underway. It's Doyle. A wall of white shirts rising to meet that ball. It's Meza. Now Williams is waved back on. The Owls were attacking 10 there. Fuego were playing a man light temporarily, but now parity restored. And the Owls trying to find a goal that would restore parity on the scoreline. Meza touched it to Dolabella, and he scoops it centrally, chested down by Dos Santos, who takes it himself. Doyle to the top of the box. Meza is fouled. Free kick on the edge of the area. And Meza makes an immediate secondary impact by winning this attacking set piece. Meza, I think, had his shoe kicked by Jesse Williams. A stop-start sequence since the Fuego goal less than 10 minutes ago. That'll suit Fuego just fine. Noe Meza very capable of scoring from here. He's scored from a similar distance multiple times over the last 2 years. Nobody else around it. It's Noe Meza. It's off the top of the wall. Cycled back in, thumped away. Doyle settles. And Brewer, 65 minutes on the clock. Brewer lifts it skyward. Out comes the goalkeeper. Didn't get a lot on it. He tumbles over. Paul Lewis staying down. Now the referee blows play down. And the Owls frustrated. And another player down as well. That's Francois Dulis. He and Paul Lewis may have come together there as they defended that ball in. Let's see. Yeah, I think Lewis might have punched Dulis in the side of the head trying to punch the ball. That right there is one of the many reasons why teams often don't practice set pieces at full speed in training very much. It's a very risky thing to do over and over again. It's why set pieces are so difficult and can confound so many teams, even though they're one of the most important aspects of the game, even though they decide many games. Dom Casciato signaling to his watch to the fourth official, saying, how much time are they going to take with these injuries and lying on the ground? He, of course, is hopeful that all of those minutes will be added on at the end. We are already headed for what you would think would be a significant amount of stoppage time at the end of the 90 minutes. But how significant will be the question and will be the key. So DeLise has come to the touchline. And finally, we're back underway. Out of play. Tormenta and 1 Knoxville has just gone full time. Tormenta hang on for a 1-0 win. Their second consecutive victory. Their first clean sheet in what feels like forever. They continue a late push toward a possible playoff spot. It's still a very uphill task for them, but they remain alive. Now then, aim toward Dos Santos, steered away once more. Central Valley's central defenders have been terrific so far tonight, especially so far in this second half. They're about to make a change. Jesus Partida is coming on. He'll replace Abdul Razak Cromwell. So one of those backline defenders to be taken off for ostensibly a midfielder. It's an interesting change. Cromwell plays on the left side of defense. He'll get up and down that left flank, of course. Great shift from Cromwell. Central Valley continue to hold a stunning advantage. This is the craziest league in the world, and crazy things happen. You can't really say they haven't deserved it. Very good in the first half. There's 3 big chances. Cashed in on their opportunity in the second half. They're hoping to ride it all the way to 3 unlikely points. What would be their first win since July 22nd. Zahir Vasquez in the 56th minute. The difference so far. Tussled by Kunga, and another foul. All these fouls just benefit Central Valley. They'll take as many of them as they can get. Fouls, stoppages, breaks in play, anything to disrupt Omaha from building up momentum again. Anything to continue to frustrate them and milk time off the clock. They have played a terrific 70 minutes so far. Kunga, clever backheel, gets them free. Skierce, Meza, forced him to stretch a bit. He does really well under the circumstances to keep it. Skierce was being harassed by Forbes then. Milanese now. Line-splitting pass sets Meza on his way. And Noe Meza is tripped up. Free kick. That was a very good sequence by the Owls. Carrera commits the foul. He is on a yellow, remember. I think receiving a final warning from Madzid Koric. Interesting to see if Edison Gonzalez might consider taking him off, but Carrera wearing the captain's armband. Gonzalez may well trust him to continue to walk that tightrope. Doyle over yet another set piece. It's in, and swung on and missed, and then flicked and tipped over the bar. Another save by Paul Lewis. It just won't go in for Omaha so far tonight. Suwahi swung and missed. Then the second contact came through, and Lewis got up. It was Dos Santos who was able to half volley it out of the air with the outside of his right boot. That was very athletically done. A Modelo corner kick is the result. Taken by Doyle. And all the way through, did that cross the line? No, it did not. Cleared off the line, and it stays out again for Omaha. That was very close. If we had goal line technology, it would have been very interesting to see. This will be a free kick for the Owls. And a yellow card for Alexis Cerritos. That was so close to being over the line, though. Let's see it again. Ball has to go all the way over the line, remember, to be a goal. I believe that was Skeers. Is that Falk off the line? Incredible clearance, whether it had crossed the line or not. Brewer shaken up by the play, but he continues. And the score line continues to be a surprising one. It is Zahir Vasquez in the 56th minute, the only scorer so far. Into the box again for the Owls. Headed clear again by Fuego. And taken for a run by Cerritos. Trying to release a teammate, couldn't do it. Handed it to Meza instead. Kunga now. Dancing around some challenges. Milanese. And Kickoff. Milanese perfectly for Kickoff, whose next ball was not perfect. Goal kick. Let's see the goal line save again a moment ago. Very tough to tell from this angle whether it had crossed the line all the way. That's an incredible clearance. Dolabella, still the Owls search for a goal. Kunga. Didn't have a lot of options forward, had it chopped off his feet. Stabbed back forward in the direction of Chef Brewer. Brewer cutting onto his right. Back for Skeers. Square for Kickoff. In toward the back stick. Brewer again. Lifted goalwards, but an easy take for Paul Lewis. And the Owls starting to run short of ideas. If you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Kunga now. Trying to release Dos Santos, but the release did not happen. And the Owls readying another change. Joe Gallardo is going to come on for Shaft Brewer. So the Owls, who will unofficially play with 3 at the back a lot of times when Brewer gets forward in the attack. I think they'll officially go to 3 at the back now. Brewer, who starts at that left back position but attacks quite a bit, replaced by Gallardo, who's generally an out-and-out attacking midfielder. So Gallardo, who scored a couple times this year, has created some others. The Owls need someone to create something. They created plenty in the first half, but they couldn't finish any of it. And that's a slack ball from Milanese. He's fortunate he wasn't punished. 0-0 between Northern Colorado and North Carolina still in the 35th minute in Windsor. But on a night where the Owls hope to profit from at least one of them dropping points inevitably, it's the Owls who are currently dropping all 3 themselves. They put that in play, and the referee whistles it back. And the frustration continues to mount for the men in black. Dolabella. Doyle. Kickoff low. Dolabella missed his touch. That kind of night for the Owls in attack so far. Nothing going for them. That's given straight back to Kunga, however. Meza. Kickoff. Surrounded by a white wall, but slides to Dolabella, who backheels for Meza, who equalizes for Omaha. Tremendous goal. Parity restored. Hope revived. Confidence built. 1-1 with 13 minutes to play. It was a sweetly constructed goal. Look at the back heel from Dolabella. Look at the left-footed finish from Meza. He doesn't normally score with his left. He's usually a right footer. But he opened himself up and steered it unerringly into the side netting, leaving Paul Lewis, who's been excellent tonight, grasping at air. Everything to play for now. Now Central Valley look for the lead right back. Down the right side they come. The cutback stayed in play, but didn't find anybody in white. And look for this game to become very stretched in the final stages now. This is a free kick. Dos Santos was impeded. Again, the Owls want to take it quickly. Again, the referee wants to make sure he's ready. And some gamesmanship here between Cerritos and Dolabella. Dolabella says, yeah, I know. Look at what he did. And so it goes. Well, it's a fascinating final stages we have in store now. Meza hustling for this. Partita has it instead. Lifts it along the touchline. No foul, on we go. Kunga, edge of the area. Kickoff has it fall to his feet. And that's put out for a corner. And the pressure ratchets up for Omaha. The energy ratchets up in the stadium. The Owls, despite 9 straight wins, feel that this one is still a must-win against the bottom club in the league. A club that have fought and played ever so well tonight. But Fuego now with their backs up against the wall. And Doyle to take this Modelo corner. Lifted far side. Who did that come off last? Goal kick. The Owls incensed. Let's see if we can see who made final contact. Sure looked like it came off a Fuego player. No way to tell definitively, though. Madzid Koric saw it differently. 80 minutes on the clock. Zahir Vasquez in the 56th for Central Valley. Noe Meza in the 77th for Omaha. What a touch by Tion Kickoff. But he couldn't get past his next man, and then he dragged back Jose Carrera, and he goes into the book. And he knows it. That's a valuable little stoppage and break for Central Valley, just to break up this building momentum that Omaha are trying to generate. Good work by Carrera to get himself in the way. A draw here would still be a huge result for Central Valley, a big morale-boosting result. It would be a feather in the cap of Edison Gonzalez in that interim coaching role. They are 9 minutes plus what figures to be a significant amount of stoppage time away from securing at least that. And they still want more. It's Falk and Forbes. Away from him, Dolabella has it spin to Gallardo, who stabs it forward in the direction of Meza, who's in a foot race with Williams. Flag is raised. That ball went out of play. There has been a breakthrough in Windsor, and it has gone to the visitors. North Carolina FC ahead 1-0 against the Hailstorm in the 41st minute. So a big moment in that top of the table clash. Garrett McLaughlin with the opening goal there. The Owls will be desperate to find one more here. We'll have another throw. near the live standings, with North Carolina in the lead currently. This could be a massive night for them. If they were to win that game, and if Omaha were to draw this one, or worse, North Carolina would suddenly have daylight at the top of the table. Not at all the case just yet, though. This falls to Dolabella, who has space to come forward. And Lagos Kunga shields it off, and Gallardo advances. Kunga thumped it against the defender. That spins and did not stay in play for Victor Fall. The Owls want to do everything quickly now. They do still have time. Into the box for Dos Santos against two white shirts. Heads it along from Meza, trying to get himself turned. It's just hacked out of play by Dulise. Anywhere will do. Anywhere did. Corner for Omaha. Another Modelo corner kick for the home side. Doyle hanging it up to the 6-yard box. And then the volley is hammered into row Z by Joe Gallardo. The USL is celebrating Hispanic Latino Heritage Month with stories, events, and more, bringing to life this special celebration across the league. Go to uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-heritage to learn more. Forward by Suahi. Tennised back by Dulise. Taken down by Vasquez. Central Valley about to make another change. This ball does not stay in play for Billy Forbes. Andrew Forth is going to come on for Central Valley to replace Billy Forbes at the next stoppage, which might be right now. Let's see. Owls want to get on with this, as they'll want to with everything. Now, you see Edison Gonzalez at the bottom of your screen frantically gesturing that he wanted to make the change then, but not spotted apparently by the officials. And so we go on, and Andrew Forth remains on the touchline. Billy Forbes remains on the pitch for now. And Dion Akoff is up the right side for Omaha. And he squares it for Gallardo and Kunga and Dos Santos, and it just wouldn't fall. Dos Santos looking gassed. Central Valley still very capable of stealing all 3 points here. And there's space for Partita. And Partita can measure across. And it runs to the top of the box, and Forbes slammed it wide. It was a chance. Now the change will happen as Andrew Forth comes on. And that was the last moment for Billy Forbes. What a story that would have been if he'd been allowed to stay on, with the official not seeing the substitution indication if he had scored with his final touch. He nearly did. But it's Forth who takes his place. That is a defender for a forward, so the definition of a defensive change. Partita found himself in lots of space. Forbes struck it well, but sliced it. Akoff, bit aimless, but it falls to Dos Santos. Gallardo being stuck to by Lemus, who's been great for Fuego tonight. Gallardo dances end line, lifts it into the box, over Dos Santos, runs out for a corner. Central Valley looking for a foul, Dos Santos looking for a penalty. Nobody gets anything except for a corner for the Owls. Dos Santos saying his jersey was being pulled, and you look at the replay, he might have had a case. But the Modelo corner kick will be taken from the near side. Doyle drills it in, and the corner is over from Dolabella. Boy, the Owls have had so many chances on headed balls from the box, and they've just not been able to steer any of them on target. I mean, that is a chance and a half. And sometimes from those low flat balls, it can be trickier to steer them on target. It's an odd angle. Odd to defend against, but it's also odd to attack. But still, they practiced that so many times. Dolabella will definitely feel he could have done better. And now Fuego have a throw in the attacking third. And the clock is ticking for Omaha. A draw really will not do for them tonight. They're going to make the playoffs, that's already assured, but they're aiming for that top 2 at least. Remember, finishing second versus finishing third is a huge difference in this league. Gets you a first-round bye and home field in the semifinal round. Puts you one home win away from the final in the playoffs. And now a free kick for Fuego. And the frustration mounts again for Omaha. Lagos Kunga guilty of that foul. Settling for a single point against the bottom club in USL League One. Potentially put a significant dent in Omaha's quest for a top 2 finish. It certainly would be a big dent in their ambitions to finish top of the league and win the regular season title. Victor Falk trying to make it worse for them as he stands over this free kick. Falk's ball in. Nuhu rises, punches away. Not cleared very convincingly. And now the pressure relieved. Owls want to take this right away. They're not allowed to, and they're feeling that that should be a yellow for time wasting, but now we go on. Player down behind the play for Fuego. They're insistent that the game should be stopped. It's not being stopped, and Kickoff doing anything but stopping, and he's won a corner. He's starting to pull up with the first hints of a cramp. He doesn't normally play 90 minutes. He's doing so perhaps out of necessity tonight. Jesse Williams is down behind the play still. We tick past the 90 minutes. How much additional time will we have? 7 minutes is the indication. I'm surprised it's not more than that. Stoppage time is presented by Muchachos. We'll probably have more than that now because we haven't even begun stoppage time since Williams went down. Around 7 minutes separating Central Valley from a really big and impressive and admirable result. And as much as the storyline would be about Omaha dropping 2 massive points, you would have to give tremendous credit to Central Valley for taking a point under these circumstances. You see the shots, 24 shots for Omaha, only 3 on target. That is just nowhere near good enough. 9 shots for Central Valley, but 6 on frame. But it's a Modelo corner again for Omaha. What feels like their 15th. It hasn't actually been that many. In stoppage time. It's Doyle again. It's flicked away. Skier sees it out for a throw. Milanese. Another throw for the Owls. Omaha continue to probe, trying to create an angle, trying to create an opening. Doyle blocked well by Vasquez, whose goal in the 56th minute might still be enough for a precious point for Central Valley tonight. Sprayed back by Meza and misplayed, and look out, boy, the Owls get away with that. That would have been a 3-on-1, maybe a 3-on-2. With the Owls pushing so many bodies forward, desperate for a late winner, they have to be careful they don't get sucker punched. Dolabella swinging wildly at it, pings it into the box, chested down. It comes for Akoff. Pulled back, Gallardo. Joe Gallardo, they've done it! Turnaround complete. 10 in a row in sight. The Owls, who trailed 1-0, lead 2-1 in stoppage time. Akoff pulled it back. Gallardo took one touch out of his feet and curled it into that far corner. He didn't need a second invitation, and Paul Lewis could do nothing about it. Joe Gallardo off the bench into the dog pile and possibly puts Omaha further into the record books and maybe, just maybe, to the top of the table by the end of the night. They will make a change. Dolabella comes off for Chivani Willis, who will try to help see out these final few minutes of stoppage time. So Willis, who can play at the base and midfield. Now suddenly it's Fuego who will be in a hurry. Now it's Omaha who want that clock to tick faster. Fuego, who've been dangerous all night, even though they've created far fewer dangerous situations than the Owls have. They, until that moment, a moment ago, had made more from their situations and opportunities. But sometimes volume pays off. Sometimes quantity wins out over quality. And the Owls' quantity of opportunities finally has them ahead deep into stoppage time. And now Central Valley are very stretched, and Kunga is running at them, and Meza is through, and Noe Meza almost rounded the keeper, but couldn't quite take that final step, and the game is still alive. And Jesus Partida looks for space. No foul. Play continues for Willis. Chivani Willis. Dion Akoff, who's been an Iron Man tonight. And Willis by the corner will use his big frame to try to shield it, and he wins a free kick. And now the valuable seconds ticking off the clock belong to Omaha. And this Werner Park crowd, who along with their team were so frustrated for so much of the night, they and their team can smell the finish line. They can smell 10 in a row. Willis wins a corner. This is exactly what he was put on to do. Now remember, the Owls have conceded stoppage time goals in 6 of their last 7 games. This has been a huge problem area in games for them. Today they scored in stoppage time. They have to avoid conceding again. This is a goal kick as we enter the final minute of the 7. And remember, we had an injury at the start of stoppage time, so there will likely be more than that, along with the goal, which usually adds another 30 seconds or so. This runs all the way through for Nuhu, who takes a touch into his own box. Still 1-0 North Carolina over Northern Colorado at halftime at Windsor. Both those teams will be desperately disappointed to hear the news of Omaha's second goal. Dos Santos, who's also played the entire game for Omaha when he does not normally. It's that time of year. Everybody has to push themselves. Another valuable throw won by the Owls. Akoff to the corner. Willis didn't control it. It's out. It's a goal kick. We've had the 7 minutes. We also have 2 balls on the field. It's got to happen just about now for Central Valley if they're to rally for a dramatic late point. If they're to still put a stop to Omaha's winning streak. But that's not going to get it done, and Nuhu will take all the time he can. He has plenty of experience with this in his 4 years with the Owls. They've been in this situation many times at Werner Park. Forward by Nuhu. All eyes on the referee. Controlled well by Dos Santos, but then dispossessed. Can Fuego create one more chance? They've been so good tonight. They'll be so disappointed if it stays this way score-wise. But there's the final whistle. It was far from a perfect performance, but it's a perfect 10 for Union Omaha. An incredible 10 consecutive wins for Dom Casciato and the Owls, who simply refuse to blink. A result that might see them top of the table by the end of the night. And at the very least, it assures them of gaining points on either Northern Colorado or North Carolina as they continue a needle-threading run to a possible regular season title. And it took them until deep into stoppage time today to do it. Joe Gallardo, your Platinum Chiropractic Man of the Match. His winner in the 93rd minute, giving Omaha, at last, all 3 points tonight and leaving Central Valley, who gave so much tonight, devastated. It ends Union Omaha 2, Central Valley Fuego FC 1. We'll come back with our final highlights and stats and wrap things up from a breathless Werner Park after this.
My name is Ian McCrane, and I am a goalkeeper for Union Omaha. I jumped at the opportunity because I really didn't consider myself going back to school just because of playing and just didn't have the time. But now, since I'm able to do both Bellevue and train, it's a great opportunity for me and for all the guys who are taking it up. This degree at Bellevue is important to me because it opens up a lot of opportunities I didn't have before. I'm getting my master's in finance, which is something that's always interested me, but I wasn't able to do beforehand. So I'm open to explore opportunities that Bellevue has to offer. Yeah, the partnership between Bellevue and Union Omaha is great because a lot of athletes don't get the opportunity or don't even think that they have the time to both study and play at the same time. So having that benefit to do both is really great for all the players here, especially at Union Omaha, because with us being so close to the university, I think it gives us a little bit more special connection to the program, and yeah, it's really great for everyone who chooses to take it up. My name is Ian McCrane, and I'm a Bellevue University student.
Incredible night, incredible game, incredible late turnaround for Union Omaha, who defeat Central Valley Fuego 2-1, but that doesn't even begin to tell the story of this game. Donnie Barnes back with you one more time. We take a look at the highlights from the second half today. Omaha had a ton of chances in the first half, but so did Central Valley. And then in the second half, 56th minute, Billy Forbes was through. Rashid Nuhu made the initial save, but Zahir Vasquez scrambled in the rebound. And Central Valley, who saw Rashid Nuhu stop 4 one-on-one opportunities, finally they found a way past him. And they led for about 20 minutes until Noe Meza equalized in the 77th. Look at this back heel flick from Dolabella. Nice finish by Noe Meza, who again doesn't normally score with his left, but steered in his 11th of the year. Such neat combination play. That's the Owls at their best. It took them a long time to find their best tonight, but they did it just in time. And then Kickoff, another assist, this time for Gallardo, who got it out of his feet. Was not closed down nearly quickly enough by Jose Carrera and company. They backed off him. Bad idea. And he showed exactly why. Frustration for Fuego, who again fought so hard and so well tonight and were so close to a shock result. But the Owls overwhelmed them in the end. 25 shots for so much of the night. So many of them were off target, but 2 of them found the back of the net, and that was enough in the end. 63% possession for Omaha, 2 yellow cards for them. Those don't matter. The 2 goals, all that do matter. The 3 points, all that matter this time of the year. The Owls will gain points on either North Carolina or Northern Colorado, maybe both. That's still 1-0 North Carolina at the break. Tune into ESPN Plus to see the second half of that. For tonight and our entire great crew, I'm Donnie Barnes saying good night from Warner Park, where it ended incredibly. Union Omaha 2, Central Valley Fuego 1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.